Good morning. New 6 truck always in my way. It is a beautiful day here in Central Florida, but I say that every day. It is hot as Africa outside, but it is the start of Hispanic Heritage Month here in Central Florida. I know that's hard to hear coming from a guy that looks like he's from Oklahoma, but my mom is Puerto Rican, my dad is Italian, and I have a truck full of ladies right now. Specifically, we have, ladies and gentlemen, I'm so happy to welcome into the truck Trooper Garcia from the Florida Highway Patrol, the Assistant Public Information Officer, along with my compadres in the back, reporter Ezzy Castro. Ma'am, what's your name? The intern?
The tiny one, Jaina. I'm the
Jaina,
intern.
our new 6 intern. Talk about an awesome intern. I'm going to give her some props too, because probably the best one I have ever met in the 8 years being here. Super energetic and focused. So we appreciate you joining us today. But we've got Trooper Garcia in the car, all out of the request, not even by me. Ezzy Castro made this happen. And Ezzy's got she's got flavors with us today. We've got some yeah, they could see it right there. Some cafecito. So we're gonna hit the road here and talk a little bit. Ezzy, bring us into this thing. The camera's yours. Talk to us a little bit.
All right. So the reason why here you go, Trooper Garcia.
Thank you.
So the reason why I invited Trooper Garcia over is because she is, from the Dominican Republic. She is a trooper here in Central Florida. I don't know if you can.
Yeah, why not? We're not drinking and driving. It got no as long as you didn't put no Kahlua in it, we're all right.
We're good. I've always admired her because I know she joined the communications department and public affairs over there at FHP, and I said, wow, like, she's Latina, she's young, she's a woman, and she's in law enforcement, and I was just very inspired by her, and she's been on my mind, not in a weird way, obviously, she's been on my mind for a couple of months, because I said, for Hispanic Heritage, I really want to know her story, and so I said, who better than Trooper Steve to do the story with, obviously, today. And,
we didn't get to work with each other much, but it is awesome to be able to share the title Trooper with some amazing troopers here in Central Florida. So, ma'am, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
It was funny. She got there early, and she's like, let me see this truck, man. So, we're going to call her Miggy in the truck, if everyone's okay with that, if you're okay with that.
We're good with that.
But your first name is similar to why we call Ezzy. What is your actual first name?
So my first name is Migdalicis.
Migdalicis.
Perfect.
Hey,
Yes!
look at that, guys. So, talk to me a little bit. When did you join the Highway Patrol?
So first I joined the Highway Patrol as a dispatcher in 2019.
Okay.
I had just recently moved down from New York and started as a dispatcher. I met a lot of amazing people I still work with now and hear over the radio.
Right.
Did that for about 1.5 years.
Okay.
And then I became a state trooper. Went up to the academy, the amazing Florida Highway Patrol Academy in Tallahassee.
She says amazing with the grin of every trooper who has been through that. And that's the only way we can kind of describe it is, quote, amazing, unquote, because it's an experience, right?
For sure. I mean, if you do your full law enforcement training in the FHP Academy, we all share that experience that, other law enforcement agencies that get their certification elsewhere don't share.
It's almost like a trauma bond.
Yes, exactly. That's the perfect word.
So where are you from originally, Miggy?
So my family's from the Dominican Republic.
Okay.
Everyone is from there. I was born here in the Bronx, New York.
All right.
I'm the only, out of my siblings, I'm the only American child, the first one to become, in law enforcement and all of that. So it's funny though, out of my siblings, I was born here, but I'm the one that kind of sort of is more in touch with my culture. When it comes to music, dancing, I love to dance.
That's an Ezzy thing.
Yes.
Ezzy loves dancing.
We spoke about bachata.
Yes, we did talk about bachata yesterday, but yeah.
Awesome. Ezzy, what do you got? You guys do your thing.
So basically, well, yesterday I met with Trooper Miggy, and we talked a little bit about just being a Latina woman in law enforcement overall. I wanted to see, because when you see her, it's like, oh, wow, she's young, she's pretty, but she's got the uniform on.
Right.
And sometimes when you come across that, I kind of wanted to see, like, if she still gets that nowadays, which you did say, yeah, I do get that actually pretty often. So,
what's been your experience like as a female trooper here in Central Florida in the beginning to where it is kind of now? You're in the communications division now.
Mm-hmm.
You were a road trooper up in Volusia County, and let's be real, there's not many Latin people in Volusia County, not by any specific means. It's just the way the demographic works out. What has been the progress for you like?
I think at first I kind of felt like I stuck out.
Okay.
Like no matter where I walked in, it's like, oh, it's a girl. Oh, and she's Hispanic.
Okay.
So it's just like I took that as something negative at first. Like, ugh, everyone's always watching, or everyone's always staring. I have to do this or prove a point. And in reality, now, and talking to Ezzy yesterday, I realized this is positive. And this is good. This is a blessing.
100%.
I stick out. But it's for good things that, guess what, the patrol needs.
Yes.
Law enforcement needs. The fact that I can speak Spanish in the communications center as a dispatcher and now on the road as well. It's like, and now in public affairs, I just touch so many more people and lives because I'm able to help and be there and be, that sense of relief that some people need when I get on scene. They're like, you speak Spanish? Oh, thank
Right.
God.
Especially
So
for
that
our
feeling.
medias, our partners in the media, Telemundo, Televisión, or Univision.
Yes.
My bad, messed that up for you guys. But
that sounded good though.
yeah,
that was good. That was good.
I
Maybe
try.
that's something we make up later.
Yeah, we'll have our own little show later. But it's like, I remember being out on these scenes sometimes, and it's like, sorry guys, I can't address you, but I'd have to find a Spanish trooper, a Hispanic trooper that would just do it for me off to the side, and then be like, all right, this is what I need you to say. But you know what to say, and you're able to kind of push that out a little bit.
100%. Things get lost in translation sometimes. So it's good to just have that. I don't have to translate. My brain just is doing it. I don't have to sit there and be like, okay, this in English, okay, this is in Spanish. I just switch my brain and then go with it.
Ezzy, now for you too, though, we've talked before,
Yeah.
that translating things sometimes in your head becomes difficult when you're speaking two languages so fluently. Even as a journalist, you have to sit there and be like, all right, it's in English this way, but I can't say it in Spanish that way,
Right.
kind of thing. What has that been like for you?
I mean, I'm gonna be flat out honest. It is a little challenging sometimes,
Right.
And even when writing a story, I mean, I go back and I kind of, okay, how do I really translate it? Because, and here's the thing, there's just so many lingos too, and Miggy could agree here. Dominicans say certain things a different way than the Cubans do, or the Puerto Ricans do, or the Nicaraguenses do. So, I don't know. How do you guys say bus in Spanish? Do you guys say
Guagua.
a guagua? Okay, Cubans say wawa. La wawa.
And some people say autobus.
Or so some people
Yeah.
say autobus, which would be the common version of it, right?
Right.
Interesting.
Yeah. So your mind kind of has to, be like, okay, how would the proper, Spanish be, which is, I guess like the masculine, because Spanish is a little bit masculine. And how
When
would
you
translate it?
when you guys though are, and it sucks because I do not speak Spanish. I understand probably a good majority of it, but if I was to try to communicate, it's not going to happen. When it comes to picking, where do you revert back to for that proper or the official Spanish? Is there a set guidelines of Spanish you should be speaking when you're addressing a general Hispanic crowd? And
Like Castellano, I would say,
I would almost
right?
address that to both you guys.
I would say yes and no. There is, I'm taught Dominican Spanish, that's what my parents speak. And at the end of the day, there is professional or regular words as well as slang.
Right.
So I just kind of go to, even if I say a bus a certain way, I just stick with what I know. And if they're like, you kind of see someone confused, and I just point. Like, this is what I mean.
Right there.
I don't know what you call it in your country, but,
Yeah.
I'm not saying a disrespectful or a slang
Right,
term.
right.
It's just what I know a bus to be.
Oh,
So,
awesome.
and Miggy, like, one of the, and Steve, you can join in, obviously, because you were in that department years ago before joining News 6. And, it's very crucial to have someone bilingual to be dealing with, public affairs and communications, because, again, it even happened to me where we got into a crash about 2 years ago on I-4 overnight, and the trooper, bless his heart, he didn't know English, he didn't know Spanish, and the guy who crashed into us behind us, he only knew Spanish, and so I was translating stuff for the trooper while we were there.
And you were involved in the crash.
And I was involved in the crash, yeah. And so we were on our way to Daytona Beach because it was after the hurricanes, and we were on our way to do the story. And so, unfortunately, that happened. But it's just, again, like, it's, and this is in the middle of the night. So who's awake in the middle of the night to help the troopers too, that to translate in a situation like that. So it is very helpful that, and I know, Miggy, you were saying sometimes you got to make the phone call of like, hey.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes troopers call me when I'm off.
Yeah.
To translate.
Yes,
because
and
they
I'm
know.
like, because also it's not, even getting a translator,
It's
because you
difficult.
can get a translator through dispatch and all
Right.
of that, but A, it's difficult, and B, it's not a law enforcement officer.
Right.
So these legal terms as well get lost in translation. So it's all complicated, honestly, and even now in this field, there's words that now I have learned because I didn't have to know them before. It's just regular Spanish, and now I'm like, okay, now I have to know how to say felony in Spanish.
Right,
How do you say felony in Spanish?
Girl, I still don't know.
You see, it's hard. It's
Right.
Yeah.
So I gotta ask, because it's the number one question I think every cop gets asked. Why? Why'd you choose law enforcement, and why'd you choose the highway patrol? And the reason I say that specifically, because everyone chooses really where they end up. Why?
Well, if I told you where it all started, you're like, what? Yesterday,
come
I
on,
was-
tell us.
Go tell them what you said to us.
in reality, before, I'm like, I think I want to be a teacher.
Okay.
So I did work a little bit in my high school with college counseling and all of that back home in New York. And then all of a sudden I'm like, but I kind of want to be more hands-on. I don't want to just teach. And yes, that's helping the community, but I was, born and raised in the Bronx, where my high school had metal detectors. So seeing something like that, really, I'm just like, you know what? I want to be more involved in reference to not having to have school with metal detectors,
I like that, yeah.
all that kinds of stuff. So I decided to major in criminology in college, and I started my application process with NYPD and all of that. Luckily for me, I had an aunt that lived here, so I would come to Florida all the time. And I'm like,
Nice.
You know what? This is fun. I think I want to move here. And I applied to be a dispatcher from up there because I'm like, well, I don't know if I'm going to stay there, if I'm going to like it. So as a dispatcher, I was able to learn what Florida's like.
Was this your puppy? Was that your puppy at the time, or was
No,
that in the dispatch room?
So one of our dispatchers, she's now a supervisor.
That's a cutie right
yes,
there.
that's Charlie.
Charlie.
And her name is Stephanie. She's a supervisor with us now. And she brought her dog in, and I love Charlie. He's a sweetheart.
And we all, News 6, we are fans of dogs at this place.
Yes.
So you said you picked the dispatch. Great.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm always very curious, because I have my reasons, but why the highway patrol? Was there something that stuck out to you? Were they the first persons to say, hey, Miggy, we'll talk? What drove you to become a trooper? Because you guys said it. You're a Hispanic female in the Florida Highway Patrol that has a reputation way before me of being 6-foot white guys.
Right.
To the point where there was a height requirement many years ago to be a state trooper.
Oh, wow.
That I would not have.
Me and you both would not.
We would have been deputies hanging out wearing green. So, what was it that stuck out to you that, you know what, I'm going to be a Florida trooper?
The thing about traffic safety specifically that the highway patrol gives is like, I just feel like driving is something we all do every day.
Preach.
And people don't realize how dangerous it can be.
Man, she sounds like she's using one of my sound bites, guys.
Copy and paste.
You're like, come on. You're right, though.
And people don't realize it. And I'm just like, this is something so simple and something that people, I don't want to say it's so simple.
No, it is.
People think it's so, I just drive to work and I come back home and that's it. Or I just drive to the store and I come back and that's it. But it's in the, a split-second decision. You can ruin somebody's life. You can ruin your life.
Yep. You're
badly injured, and it's just so crazy. And then something as simple as like now, being able to do interviews in Spanish as well, just describing like, hey, this is what you do.
And then all of a sudden it registers to them.
Right, this is what you do
You're
on
kind
a
of
traffic
famous,
stop.
by the way.
Yes.
We've seen your don't drive high. And you getting out all serious, shaking your head at that driver out there. But I think that's, for me, you hit it, the same thing I would have said. I want to go the other way. You said the same thing I would have said. For me, traffic safety is a passion. A lot of people are like, there are a lot of cops out there that are like, I want nothing to do with working a crash. But the template to investigate it is the exact same as any other crime or incident. But people don't realize, and I use the term, driving is the most dangerous thing most people will do in their entire life, and they don't even realize it. And at the end of the day, the trooper's job is to make sure you get from point A to B, B to A safely. You may not like how we do it. You may not like the coupon that you receive on 408, but it's just how it plays out.
Wait, what did you call it?
A coupon. So there was a comedian many years ago, he'd say coupons during his stand-up. Not the most well-spoken comedian, so I'm not going to drop his name out because I could probably get in trouble. But absolutely funny. But I think that's the thing. It's like you get to see every day how little mistakes, tiny mistakes, are devastating to people's lives.
Exactly, 100%.
You also, it's your communications division is female dominated. Your boss is a lieutenant with the Highway Patrol, Tara. So that's pretty cool that you guys get to work together. Have you been able to participate in any Hispanic events or anything like that on behalf of the Highway Patrol? If it's no, totally okay.
I mean, like we try to
engage,
highlight as well. Like I feel like highlighting our other Hispanic troopers as well is easier when I understand and know the culture.
Right.
Without making it cringe.
That's true. Sometimes it's corny.
Right.
You got to do it right and respectful.
Exactly.
So, all right, going around the car, favorite Hispanic food in Central Florida. Where are you going? In Central Florida. I'm not trying to go Miami. We're not going to the Bronx. We're staying here in 9 counties. Where are we going for your favorite Spanish dish? Ezzy, you're first.
La Lochenera.
Where's that at?
So you went to my baby shower. Remember that food?
I'm the interviewee here, so I know what you're talking about. I'm just trying to help you out a little bit, girl. Come on.
La Lochenera and Ocoee. They have actually some that are open, but they're like food by the pound. So you go there and it's a little mixed with Puerto Rican, but they have the rice, they have the beans,
nice.
They have the pork, they have the chicken.
Okay.
They even have like fried rice.
Yes.
Ask me why. I don't know.
They just have it.
They call it arroz chino in Spanish. I mean, it's so good. But like, I feel like that would be like my go-to Hispanic spot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have one, ma'am?
I don't, so I'm going to take whatever you say. And
all right.
I'm going to go and try it
this
month because I wish that I could get outside my little UCF bubble more often than I do, unfortunately.
You have
so-
some good spots out on the east side, believe it or not.
Yes,
Do
you
we?
Yes, there are some good
Okay.
spots
Cuban
out there.
Cafe right off
Yeah,
408.
436,
Mhm.
408 and 436.
Yep.
Miggy, you got a spot?
I'm horrible because I don't know the name of it, but I know
Same.
where it's at.
Okay, so I have a spot and I don't know
That's very
that.
Hispanic of you.
But
I just know what they have, where it's located.
I'm the same. So where's your spot?
It's, you know where, like, the Turnpike and OBT meet?
Turnpike OB. Yes, okay, by Consulate area.
Yes.
Okay.
Exactly. There's like if you're coming from the, I think it's Consulate, I don't know, but before you merge onto the Turnpike,
Got it. Okay. It's
there's
off
a
to
little
the side.
plaza there.
Okay.
And it's Puerto Rican food. I think they might have, I mean, Puerto Rican food and Dominican food is very similar. And they have, like, you know, you go in and, like, you can serve your...
It's like the buffet thing.
Yes,
you look
exactly.
and you point. I want that. I
yeah,
want
like
that.
food by the pound.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's what we say, food by
So
the pound.
mine is on 436 next to the old FHP station.
Well, I want to
They
break it
closed
to you.
No,
That's
they
not
closed
there
it.
anymore.
It's not there anymore.
You're talking about the
Yeah.
one that you could walk
Yeah, that you
from
can
the
walk-
gate
yeah,
of
yeah.
the old station?
No,
to there?
not the Cuban, not the Cuban
Oh,
one.
okay.
I don't want to sound. I wasn't a fan of that spot.
What's
But
okay?
it's the other one that's just a little further up on the
Okay,
right.
now I know which one you're talking
And-
about. That's good
We
too.
almost broke his heart. He
I almost
I
just.
know.
Oh my god.
I almost just got really mad, guys. But no, it's up a little further on the right, just before HD2 lighting. On the right-hand side there. But same thing, food by the pound. You walk in, I want that. Pour some of the good stuff on my yuca and all that. But no, I like
But
that.
now I'm gonna reverse
Go for it.
favorite Hispanic or Spanish food dessert.
Oh, that's got to be a quesito? From,
Would that be sweet dessert?
it's a pastry with,
well, yeah, I
with
guess
sweet
that,
cheese
that
in
works.
What a... I don't know what you're talking about.
I like flan. Love flan.
Oh, I make the best flan.
We got Ezzy bringing in cafecito and
Next time. I
Next
got
pizza.
you.
all right, Ezzy, your favorite dessert?
God, I'm not a sweet tooth.
You're not.
I'm not. You guys know I'm not.
I
a
asked her
sweet
for. I was like, "What do you want for breakfast?" She's like, "Just get me something
tooth.
salty."
Yeah.
I was like, "Okay."
But
So,
I would go with churros.
oh, you can't go wrong with a
Churros
churro.
con un chocolate caliente, chocolate caliente.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mm.
Oh, by the way, one more food spot. Black Bean Deli.
Like you can't go wrong. You can't go wrong
I
with
haven't
Black
been there.
How
Where
are
is
you?
it?
Look, I know you drive around. Like, how do you?
Where is it?
You got one on Colonial.
Yeah.
You got one at the airport.
You have one at no, not the airport. That's Zaza's.
That's Zaza's.
Yeah.
That's which is good too.
That one's
Yeah, I
good
like
too.
Zaza.
But Black Bean Deli, there's one in Winter Park, and they're gonna open one in Winter Garden. On
Okay,
The west side.
all right.
That's coming soon.
Good to know. Good to
But
I will
know.
go there. That will be my
Yeah.
homework for today.
Yeah.
So Black Bean, a little Cuban spot on 50, close to Fern Creek, in the city.
Okay.
Great empanadas, always hot, ready to go. But their coffee's always great. Pastries are always really good. But before we drop her off, do you guys want to have a little exchange, you two, in Spanish?
Oh, yes, we
And
need
plug
to
your
do that.
things. Go ahead.
All right, so we're gonna switch to Espanol.
Yes, for those of you guys joining us this morning, we have Trooper Garcia from the Florida Highway Patrol and Ezzy Castro, and we're reverting for the next 2 minutes in Espanol. So I'm just going to drive them
Espanol.
safely because I'm not going to have a clue what they're talking about. So go for it, ladies.
Well, before we do, any refills?
I'm good because
I'm
gonna.
good.
Okay,
I will start bouncing off the chair.
Instead of going back to the office, she's going to go write tickets after this. So be careful, guys.
So, because we got red solo cups, so that's why, because we got cafecito with us. Okay, so Trooper Miggy Garcia, ¿qué significa el herencia hispano? Like, why is that? I mean, you speak Spanglish.
We are still live, ladies and gentlemen.
¿Por qué es importante para ti?
Para mí es bien importante porque es la cultura que nosotros tenemos. Es algo bello, es algo único y es algo que, en mi opinión, yo puedo relacionarme más con la gente y entender a los otros más porque sé el sazón, sé el sabor que nosotros traemos a cualquier lugar.
Y estamos hablando que tú eres pues, una muchacha en el Florida Highway Patrol y hispana también, que aquí por lo menos en la área de Orlando casi no se ve mucho. ¿Y qué significa eso para ti? Porque no hay muchas mujeres pues que tienen el badge, lo que es ser Florida Highway Patrol, lo que es ser un trooper, y en una área que es pues más masculino que nada. Pues.
Es algo definitivamente diferente y he tenido que aprender mucho porque en nuestra cultura, como en los tiempos de antes, el hombre es el que está en cargo de todo. Entonces a veces cuando alguna gente todavía tiene esa mentalidad y llego yo a la escena y le enseño, bueno, yo soy mujer y como quiera puedo también tomar decisiones. Es algo bello, todavía estoy aprendiendo mucho de cómo puede impactar a alguna gente que no piensan así o que todavía tienen esa mentalidad de antes. Pero honestamente es blessing. How do I say that?
Blessing, una bendición.
Una bendición,
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Siempre estoy orgullosa de ayudar a la gente y cuando alguien dice, wow, tú sabes español, o wow, una niña, una mujer tan joven, me siento especial, me siento como que es algo, no quiero decir que soy una persona como la última Coca-Cola del desierto.
No, claro.
Pero soy alguien especial en nuestra comunidad. Traigo cosas diferentes que muchas mujeres latinas nunca han hecho.
Claro, claro. ¿Y cuál es tu mensaje para la comunidad hispana?
Mi mensaje es que cojan todo con ¿cómo lo digo?
Con amor, porque...
Con amor y con los brazos abiertos, porque hay muchas cosas que nuestra gente no saben o no conocen y se encierran y tienen esa mentalidad de cómo eran las cosas antes o cómo eran las cosas en sus países. Hay que abrir la mente, hay que conocer diferentes cosas, diferentes culturas. No es solamente lo que uno sabe, hay que aprender mucho más. Y cuando alguien viene a este país, como mis padres, hay demasiadas oportunidades y mucha gente a veces se encierran o le cogen miedo. Atrévete a hacer cosas divertidas, aprende cosas diferentes. No te encierres porque hay demasiada oportunidad en este país para hacer cosas grandes, así como yo estoy haciendo esta.
So definitely opportunity and just, open yourself up, open your heart up. That's the message for the Hispanic community.
Amen.
There's so many opportunities here. And for her family, I mean, you can agree they came here to this country and look how proud they are of her because, by the way, she's the first law enforcement family member in her family.
I love that.
But she doesn't have anybody that.
Love
I
that.
asked that. I said,
No, that's
anybody
great.
in law enforcement? She's like, no, I'm the first female law enforcement person in my family.
Wow.
A Dominican family, which you and I have Hispanic mothers.
We get it. I get it.
Dominican moms
Yeah,
are built
they're
different.
on top of you all the time. Hey, are you okay? Are you doing this?
But that's something to be said, guys. Listen, if you're watching this morning and you might be Hispanic and you might think that law enforcement is not a career field for you, I'm here to tell you flat out, you are so wrong. We are in different times. We are in times where, hey, the more languages you speak, the more cultured you are, the more possibilities you have within our community. Law enforcement is not just round peg, round circle kind of things anymore. It's how much diversity can you bring to an agency to ultimately serve your community. And that's really what they end up doing. So with the three of us in this final shot right here, we're going to use that camera over there. We appreciate you guys joining us today. Trooper Miggy from the Florida Highway Patrol, your Assistant Public Information Officer. Be sure to follow FHP Orlando at FHP Orlando on all platforms. They try to do their best to put information out. Plus, you get to keep in the loop with all the community stuff that they're doing locally. You can get her contact information. Her cell phone number is 40. I'm just joking.
No, but her story airs tonight.
Her story will air tonight, as he's got a really awesome story they're putting together for tonight. This will exist on clickorlando.com, on Patrol, and of course under our Hispanic Heritage Month page. Ma'am, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you.
You are...
Gracias.
Yes. Hold on. De nada. Yay. So, guys, thank you for On Patrol. Remember, always wear your seatbelts, drive safely, or you're going to end up meeting Trooper Garcia. So
You don't want to meet me that way.
no, not that way. Thanks, guys. Have a great day.